The Master went upstairs to rest. He did not wish to be disturbed until you arrived.
Let's go, Mills. He's still your father.
He has an odd way of showing it.
Father? Mills has come to visit. Father? Father! Oh, Father. I suppose you were with Mother
Couldn't
at
resist
last.
disappointing me one last time. Good riddance.
If only I'd come sooner. Thank you. We all knew this was coming, but that doesn't make it any easier to bear. My father was a good man, even if Mills never got to see it. Why was he so obsessed with that stone? You said he had you store his memories inside it? I'm almost afraid to do so. What couldn't he just say to us all this time? Still, these were his last wishes. Thank you for making that possible.
What? A ghost?
Naria. Mills. I so regret not being there as you grew up. What I could never tell you is why my...
Shh, Mills. I think this is a memory.
Soon, I'll be able to share the truth with you. To share everything with you. Thanks to the efforts of this kind traveler, I have archived my memories on this stone. I hope one day you will find it in your hearts to forgive me, and find the father and mother you never had. Here, I love you. I have always loved you. You've both made me so proud.
Father.
Why? Why couldn't you just fade away like you always do? Why couldn't you just let me forget you?
Because it's not just about him, Mills, or you. It's about all of us. Our family, together at last. It must have been so hard on Father, to have to leave us so often. To keep silent while we grew cold and distant, even when he was here. It might seem odd, but I feel hopeful. Father and Mother are finally with us. Their memories will live on.
I thought I knew my father. I always thought he hated me, and that's why he was never around. I came to terms with that long ago. I had a father, and I hated him. Now he's gone. How am I supposed to face what's in that stone, knowing I was wrong?
Even if you hadn't destroyed those shipments, I'm sure the Tribune would stop there.
Leave me, Outlander. Let me die in the shame I've brought to Malakath. Defeated by a lone warrior. Malakath will laugh at our incompetence. An assassin. Probably a Morag tongue. She tracked our leader here. But she She doesn't know. We set a trap inside the ruins. Oh.
She's just one woman! Get inside the ruins and stop her!
Let the assassin come. I'm tired of running and she doesn't frighten me.
Well, you're not what I expected to find in a place like this. You have a habit of turning up at the most unusual moments, don't you, hero? Questions? I don't have time for questions. I have a writ to complete. Look, I can't keep these evil cultists waiting. You want to talk? Find me after I finish this job. Hero, we really need to stop meeting like this.
Come out, little assassin! Or is the Morag tongue too scared to meet the powerful snag face to face?
There she is. Surround her! Cut her apart! My Malakath's sacred tusks! You won't get past me!
Excuse me, hero. I have to see an orc about a writ.
Don't kill me. I didn't mean to interfere with House Tolvani's plans. I made a mistake.
A mistake? Well, that explains everything. I'll just let the Tolvani know. I'm sure Mage Valen will understand.
Oh, that's a relief. I thought for sure you were going to kill me.
I am. I hate when my leathers get wet. And this is a new outfit, too. Ah, well. I suppose we ought to discuss what you're doing here. I have to admit, when I saw you, I thought, what the tusk are you doing down here? Pardon my orcish. Did you really follow me across the continent? That shows commitment. Kind of creepy, but still a lot of commitment. Well, that's not what I expected. But you can just turn around and leave. You're not going to find her. Faye is going through a difficult time right now. And the last thing she needs is some house-veteran lackey adding to her pain and confusion. I know you, hero. It's old man Eris I don't trust. He didn't tell you about Vea's brother, did he? How House Redron exiled their favorite son. No? I didn't think so. Vea deserves answers, and I promise to help her. You need to just walk away. Outsiders? Is her father really that desperate? Look, tell Eris that Vea's safe and you'll see her soon. But no more outsiders. If my organization gets skittish, they'll return to the shadows and take Vea with them.
They'll only deal with you. Well, it's not exactly a lie, and I don't want things to get out of hand. I'll arrange a meeting, provided Vea agrees. You let Eris know she's safe. Get him to stop hiring freelancers before someone gets hurt. I'll send word when we're ready. Ah, were you imagining a hot bath, a bottle of wine, and a secluded cottage with a roaring fire? Me too. Instead, we're up to our armpits in the usual muck and mire, just like old times. All this, and things are looking up for my organization, too. I suppose if you're in for a sliver, you might as well be in for the log. I'm with the Morag Tong, and what you witnessed was a legal murder. According to my writ, the orc had to die. So, I killed him. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get back to Vea. Vea and I have a history. Her brother, too. They were good kids. Liked to watch me train. Now I feel responsible for her. When she came to me looking for help and asked to join the Morag Tong, who was I to refuse? That was her decision, not mine. Vea's good with a blade and tracks like a Nord Ranger. She's a natural at this, and it gives me a chance to keep an eye on her. So now I'm her mentor and she's my apprentice. I wouldn't have it any other way. That was poetry in motion. Not only is my organization getting choice assignments again, but we're starting to recover some of our prestige. Specifically, these Malakath cultists interfered with House Telvanni, so they had to be dealt with. Oh, him? No one special. Just the leader of this particular band of mad cultists. His name was on the writ, so I had to end him. It's what I do, after all, and I do it so well.
May I be of service?
I'm surprised to see you back here, but I'm also relieved. Does this mean you have news about my daughter? Is she safe? Is she ready to come home? Vea joined that cult of assassins? I was afraid she'd do something rash, but what was she thinking? I don't see the Morag Tong as safe, but at least she's still alive, so I suppose that's something. When are we going to meet with my daughter? She won't meet with me? No, I suppose she's not ready for that quite yet. As for Vea's brother, that was all the doing of the Redoran Council. I'm not allowed to discuss the details, but he's still alive, if that's what Vea is worried about. Naryu's back in town? She's as stubborn as Vaya. Very well. No other outsiders. Although I can't dismiss the mercenaries that Captain Briven employs. House Redoran is my life, as is Vaya. I'll do everything in my power to see her home safely. As you say, no other outsiders. But there are rules, Outlander. I must do everything within reason to maintain the honor of House Redoran. Here, your first payment. Soon, however, I'll expect more than just a verbal confirmation of Vaya's safety. When next you see her, tell my daughter that I want to talk to her. Vaya can set the terms, but I expect her to stop running away when things don't go her way. Vaya has always felt shackled by the rules of House Redoran, hobbled by the many duties and obligations it presses upon its subjects. After the situation involving her brother, she decided she wanted nothing more to do with the house, or with me. That may be an oversimplification, but I suppose your statement is accurate. I walk a narrow path between House Counselor and loving father. Unfortunately, the former often supersedes the latter. That's why I want to speak to Vaya again.
My husband has more faith than I do. I fear that despite your best efforts, Vaya will refuse to meet with him, let alone return home. Still, I appreciate your work on our behalf.
Well, look at that. Naryu said I'd find you here, and damn it all if she wasn't right. Did I mention how much I hate being a messenger? Makes me wish I had a writ so I could kill something. Anyway, Naryu wants to talk to you. Said you'd know what it was all about. Here. This should explain everything, sort of. It's a map. We change locations every other day for security reasons, just in case it falls into the hands of House Redoran or someone else with an axe to grind with our organization. Never had to use a map before. Amateurs. This one leads to a key to one of our safe houses, and another map. The first map? It depicts a particular town, kind of like this one. Hint, hint. The rest? Well, you'll have to figure that out on your own. Look, I know you're helping Councillor Eris, but if that map falls into House Redoran hands, I'll probably have to kill you. Nothing personal, mind you. We're already having a bit of trouble with the house, and we'd rather not make matters worse. What are you implying? Can't a person do something nice to help out an ally every now and again? Oh, who am I kidding? I hate playing the messenger. Haven't you ever done something you hate because it was the right thing to do? Then you understand what I'm talking about. Being noble, doing the honorable thing. It can be a real pain in the arse, but a favor given becomes a favor returned. Eventually. Well, look at you. You're a practical genius. Look, Naryu seems to trust you, so I suppose I have to trust you too. But that's a powerful secret you've been given. Betray us, and you'll find my blade in your back. Unless Naryu kills you first. The Morag Tong has the authority to accept and carry out writs of execution. We keep the great houses from engaging in all-out war, but they rarely appreciate the work we do on their behalf. House Redoran in particular wants to shut us down. The other houses have used us to take Redoran down a peg or two of late. To be frank, for all their vaunted honor, the house cries foul whenever someone gets the better of them. Our status is tenuous enough without Redoran's constant harassment. As I understand it, the Morag Tong made mistakes in the past, grew too arrogant. We had to lay low for more than a century. Now, we're taking select contracts, working to re-establish our reputation. It's not our fault most of them concern rhetoric.
I don't seem to be making much progress.
Sorry about all the subterfuge, but we can't be too careful when it comes to security around here. Don't be so eager, my darling. It reveals too much about your ultimate intentions. But yes, Vea would very much like to meet with you. You intrigue her, and your connection to her father could prove beneficial once she knows she can trust you. Redwin records. House officials keep track of everything. Incidents, commendations, births and deaths, whether important or mundane, they detail it all in their registry. Vea believes the registry contains information about her brother Ulron. Don't sound so offended. You had to know your hands were going to get dirty eventually. You are dealing with assassins and politicians, after all. The local keeper of records, Lord Drano, is away, so security at his townhouse should be light.
What? Even assassins need to eat. Stop staring at me like that.
Still alive, I see. And since you're here, that means you weren't captured and hauled off to a Redoran dungeon. Good for you. Were you able to acquire the registry? And does it contain any information about Thea's brother, Ulron? Ulron was exiled? That can't be right. He's an exemplary officer and a good man. Plus, he's the son of a counselor. Why in Oblivion would House Redoran banish one of their brightest stars? I can see that. There has to be more to the story, but I'm not sure how we get it. Still, you proved you could be trusted, and you admirably performed this task. So I suppose I should let you meet with Vea now. There's an abandoned cave along the coast. It's in the swamp and smells like rot, which makes it the perfect place to hide. Vea's supposed to wait inside, but she's bored. I know she's been sneaking out. You'll find her in the cave or just outside. Get to the swamp and find Vea. She's eager for any information about her brother, so she's really going to appreciate getting that registry. Just try not to be too charming when you meet her hero. She has enough distractions as it is. Vea would face too many temptations here in Balmora. Friends, favorite places, familiar sights and sounds, not to mention the proximity to all things House Redoran. Even the most thick-headed house guard would eventually stumble over her. Oh, don't thank me, hero. As long as you're useful and don't betray us, then we're engaged in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Cross us in any way, however, and you'll never see my blade before it plunges into your heart. Well enough. Ulron and Vea used to sneak out to watch me train. I have a way with blades that fascinated them to no end. Eventually, our fondness developed between the three of us. And to think, I never even had a nick-hound growing up. It's not like personal relationships are against the rules, though I suppose they are sort of frowned upon. Anyway, my assignments always brought me back to Vvardenfell, so we were able to keep in touch and visit even as they grew older. Anything's possible, but the Ulron I know holds honor above all else. I can't believe he'd do something so dishonorable that the house leaders would demand his exile. We need to find out more about what happened. Vea's young, bored, and stubborn. That makes for a volatile combination. She wants fresh air and freedom. I can't blame her for that. I can blame her for assuming I'm not aware of her little excursions. I thought I trained her better than that. Danger's a relative term, especially when you're dealing with relatives. Vea can make her own decisions. If she wants to risk getting caught by House Redoran, that's on her head, especially since she knows they've been searching that area.
And you're sure it's Vea? House Redoran isn't emptying its coffers so you can chase your own tails out here.
You pay the war claws well, because the war claws are the best there is. We have the kit in scent. It's just a matter of time before my warriors catch her.
Of course, Ferrara. Just make sure she doesn't get out of the swamp. I'll take my soldiers and guard the eastern paths, in case she eludes your warriors again. Ah, the Counselor's lackey. I understand you've made significant progress in your search for Vea. As a matter of fact, so have we. This whole ordeal will be over soon, and then you can be on your way. Outlander. My mercenaries have spotted Veya skulking about the northern portion of the swamp. Between my soldiers and Ferharar's war claws, the Councilor's daughter will soon be home safe and sound. Veya's brother, it's a sad story, killed one of his own soldiers to protect an Ashlander of all things. I think they were being too lenient when they simply exiled him. But that's how they treat the privileged few. Ulran always had an unnatural attraction to the Ashlanders and their savage ways. He felt that an Ashlander life was worth more than a Redoran life. The Council didn't agree with his assessment. This will all be over as soon as Ferharar finds Veya. Khajiit mercenaries of the highest order. For members of a lesser race, Ferharar's warriors are surprisingly effective. I employ them to bolster our forces. Between obligations to the Pact and other matters, House Redoran is spread thin of late. As you say, Ferharar's war claws take their contract as seriously as you do, however. Get in their way, and I can't guarantee your safety.
Ferharar assumes the Councilor's minions will not present a problem for the war clause. Yes, Captain?
The Outlanders have been warned, Ferharar. I leave everything else to your discretion.
Ferharar enjoys a friendly rivalry as much as the next mercenary. But the Relef kitten belongs to Warclaws, yes? Let's not get our tails tangled over this, Dullclaw. Forbade is such a complicated concept. It assumes that the rules are applied equally to everyone, and we both know the foolishness of that assumption. The War Claws have a long-standing contract that predates any proclamations by the Councilor. Captain Briven's predecessor? Forgive Ferharar. This one can barely remember the names of those who lack claws and fur. But yes, we worked with Ulran, though Briven appreciates our technique so much more than he ever did. Trade secrets, you understand. Ferharar can tell you the War Claws do whatever it takes to accomplish the job. This assignment is perfect for us, since we specialize in missing persons. We find them, we make them disappear. Whatever the client needs.
Stupid Warclaws. Now I know how a mouse feels. By the three! You really shouldn't sneak up on a person like that. If you're working with those mercenaries, I assure you, you won't take me without a fight. Oh, right. Now you mentioned something about that. Look, I can't wait to hear what you learned, but the swamp is crawling with mercenaries. There's a cave to the northeast. We can talk there. Unfortunately, there's a mob of those beast people between here and the cave. I was going to try and sneak past them, but every time I get too close, I think one of them catches my scent. You're going to tackle that mob of fur and claws? I'm impressed. Meet me at the cave when you're finished. I think we have a lot to talk about. Oh, and try not to get killed. I really want to know what you came all this way to tell me. Meet me in the cave to the north when you finish with the mercenaries.
I can smell the dark elf kitten. Looks like we're the first ones here.
Wolf! Let's flay this outsider!
I need aid!
Up here! Hurry, before more of them show up! What do you think of my luxurious accommodations? It's got dirt and rock, fungus and a poultry fire, all the comforts of home. Anyway, you said you had information about my brother, Oran. What did you find out? No, that can't be right. Oran's honorable and noble. He's a model soldier. What could he have possibly done to warrant being banished? What? My brother has always been interested in the Ashlanders, even showed them a kindness the rest of the house doesn't approve of. But for him to kill someone, especially one of his own soldiers, something terrible must have happened. I know the tribe that Oran liked to help, brought them supplies and such. He'd go and visit their camp whenever our father wasn't paying attention. Will you go with me to talk to them? Wait. Someone's coming.
She can handle herself just fine, hero. Vea, grab your things. It's time to go.
Go? Why? What's going on?
The Warclaws are marching toward this cave, along with half the House Redrin soldiers in Balmora. We need to go now.
Damn it! They must have followed us. I'll get my stuff.
Dealing with an arrogant, impatient, overconfident young woman. Now I know how my mother must have felt. We need to move. It won't take those damn cats long to find this place, not with their sense of smell. The back tunnels. Better than heading out the front door and right into the main contingent of Redrin troops. Councillor Eris brought additional soldiers from town. He's intent on getting his daughter, and he may have the numbers to do it. One more thing. The back tunnels wind their way through territory that House Redrin recently acquired. We may run into some resistance, but it shouldn't be as bad as what's waiting outside the front of the cave.
I've never ventured through the exit, so this will be new territory for the both of us. I'll do my best to try and help, though. Does the ceiling look unstable to you?
Search everywhere. Captain Priven thinks the Councillor's kitten might try to escape through these tunnels.
Damn! Those cat bastards are harder to shake than a blind date. This looks promising. Let's give it a try. That must be the way out. I just hope there aren't any Redderans up there. Oh no, we're surrounded! And that's my father! What's he doing here?
Sweep the caves. If you spot Vaya, report back to me. She's not to be harmed.
I prefer that you don't harm the agents I hired either. There's no need for bloodshed.
Father ruins everything. I'm so close to finding my brother, and he shows up to drag me back home. Well, I'm not going back without a fight. You do that for me? Thanks, I guess. But what can you possibly do against all those soldiers? My father brought the whole damn army with him this time. Clever. Tell my father whatever he wants to hear. That might actually work. Afterward, meet me at the Ashlander camp to the south. My brother would often visit that particular tribe. It's as good a place as any to start. Once I find Ulran and make sure he's all right, I'll meet with my father. But that meeting will be on my terms, not his. And tell him to call off his soldiers, or I might change my mind. That should buy us some time.
Halt! Who goes there?
Stand down. These outlanders work for me.
Well, look what the cat's almost dragged in. I'm not sure what happened in the cave, but I suspect you have a lot to answer for, Outlander.
The captain reported that he had seen you in the area. There are also multiple reports that Vaya has been spotted. Tell me, have you seen my daughter? I won't sleep well until she's home, safe and sound. I also said that the captain has his own resources. The war claws report to Briven, not me. Look, we're all just trying to get my daughter home safely. Now, tell me what Vaya's thinking. It was a gamble, I admit. An opportunity I couldn't let slip away. You won't make me feel guilty about trying to find my daughter. So, where and when will Vaya meet with me? Very well. We'll do this her way. Vaya can be as stubborn as her mother sometimes. But tell my daughter that my patience won't last forever. Next time, I expect Vaya to be with you. Or I might just let Captain Briven do this his way. Do as I command, and let them pass.
You there. Keep your head down and come here. Hope you're not looking for passage off the island. The crew's on shore leave, see? The permanent kind. Probably tripped over a few of them on the way in. Poor bastards. Ugly business. A deal gone bad. I work for an orc boss named Kartag. We're ropefish. People smugglers. Slaves pay us out the arse for a trip to the mainland. When the Kamana Tong found out, they wanted in. Kartag told them to tusk off. Yeah. Came down on us like an arse-branded ogre. We gave as good as we got. There wasn't enough. Kartag and a few slaves fled to the cavern. Kamana gangsters right behind. Without help, they're as good as dead. Don't suppose you're the heroic type? Oh, good on you for doing this, mate. Kartag's an idiot, but he doesn't deserve what the Kamana Tong will do to him. Like I said, he went in with some slaves. Mabkur, Jari Ito, and Wiwaska. You should drag them out too. He should have made a deal. What kind of rock-headed dunce tell the Kamana Tong to eat their own small clothes? These aren't common hoods. The Tong will feed you to the slaughterfish for a hard glance, let alone insulting their mothers. Moloch knows. I mean, the Tong did have some ideas Kartag wasn't wild about. Upping the prices, chaining up the slaves en route, packing them into smaller ferries. Kartag refused to even consider it. Great time to develop a conscience, eh? Maybe. You'll have to ask him, provided he's not dead already. Kartag's a hard orc to know. I always thought he was a stone-hearted businessman, but then some horker out in the rift told me he was a big-time Covenant hero, so what do I know? It's a syndicate. A crime family. Everyone hosts them, from Tudreg Hood on up to House Counselor. If they put their thumb on a scale, you look away. If they tell you to pick something up, you snatch it up quick and thank them for the privilege. Trust me, dangerous is an understatement. I'd kick Maroon's Dagon in the rocks before I'd talk back to the Kamana Tong. I played dead. Performance of a lifetime, if you ask me. I guess those acting lessons weren't so useless after all. My mother wanted to make sure I was well-rounded. I play a mean flute, too. Wait, why are we talking about this? It's a syndicate.
Please, Sarah, do not hurt me. Wait, who are you? You do not serve the Kamanatong. Ah, thank the Hist. You must help me escape. 2 others as well. If those Kamana thugs find us, they will flay us alive. Yes, I think so. Did you find Mobker? Jari? The Kamanatong were right on top of us. Jari fled one way. Mobker and I stayed close, but he slipped. I left him there. I knew it. I should never have left him. I can still see the look in his eyes. The terror. Hist, forgive me. I will. Thank you, friend. May Sithis guide your steps.
Let the beast bleed. A slow death is...
Killed by a damned elf. What a way to go. Well, what are you gawking at, runt? You gonna finish me off or what? Looks like you came up short. It's poison, see? Dirty little shrimp knew she couldn't take me straight up. Had to poke me with a poisoned blade. Typical. Did the others escape? Jari and that lot? Moloch, I don't know. Maybe I didn't like the way they asked. Look, I'm no saint. Done a lot of things I ain't proud of. But I'll be damned if some tuskless thugs gonna make life even worse for these slaves. They've been through enough. You do that. You...
Slave, unless you prefer...
No. You will not put me in chains again. No one will.